I thought I would kind of sit down and just chat with you guys some of my thoughts and feelings on using a sperm donor and both, using one and picking one out. Good morning, guys. So today we are starting things off with cleaning the master bathroom, because with the craziness of the last couple of weeks, I haven't gotten to like clean my bathroom at all basically, and so it just needs a good deep scrubbing and kind of getting back to, a clean state so I can start regular weekly cleaning again. So I want to run both of the bath mats that we have in here through the laundry. I need to just kind of wipe everything down. I want to vacuum it because there is a ton of hair on the floor because I shed like a mofo. And yeah, just kind of, wipe down the mirror, wipe down the sink. I want to replace all the towels because they need to be changed out. And just, yeah, kind of scrub everything and get everything clean again. All done and completely back to new. I just obviously still need to put the bathroom rugs in when they are finished in the wash, but other than that, everything is all sparkly and back to clean. Okay, so we are getting closer and closer to baby making time, I guess, every single day, and because of that, we need to actually start seriously thinking about choosing our sperm donors. So I thought I would kind of sit down and just chat with you guys some of my thoughts and feelings on using a sperm donor and both, using one and picking one out. So yeah, obviously it's a weird thing to have to do. It's not something that I don't think anyone ever really like prepares or like thinks that they're gonna have to, do at any point in their life. It's just kind of a weird thing that you don't think about until you're actually in that situation where you need to do it. And obviously both Miles and I guess it's one of our biggest bummers in life, because you can't really say it's a regret or anything, because obviously I wouldn't change anything about our relationship or marriage or who we are, but it just really biologically stinks that we can't make a little baby that's, half me and half him. And so it just definitely, this whole thing just starts out kind of, with a little bit of a downer note to it, but we're kind of trying, there's no point in really dwelling on that because it is what it is. And like I said, obviously I would never dream of, I would have never, decided to not be with Miles because we can't biologically make a child. I just think that's a little silly. So, it's just something that's part of our story, and so I've chosen over the last couple of years, and Miles can speak for himself, but to kind of, embrace it as much as I can, because like I said, it's something that we cannot change. It's, obviously, and it's not going to make us not want a family because of that, obviously, so it's just, there's no other way around it, so you might as well kind of, look at the positives and embrace it, and that's our story, that's how our family is going to, come to be, and so yeah, but again, it is kind of a funny, awkward thing. You're basically online dating for someone that you're going to, biologically make a child with, because again, we won't obviously consider the donor any sort of parental figure or whatever. It's the donor, not the parent, but you're still, picking out your child's DNA, which is just a weird thing that most couples don't have to do. So it's just kind of funny having to sit down and think about what is, biologically and genetically important to you in, I guess, reproducing. And Yeah, so like I said, this is something that Miles and I have known since day one, that we want children, and we'll be using a sperm donor, obviously, to make that happen. And so we have had conversations throughout the years. We've had many conversations about you know what we find important when it comes time to actually pick out a donor. And so one of the things that is you need to kind of think about is if you want an open or a closed donor relationship. And this is something I've definitely struggled with, because one of the reasons we will be going with, we will not be going with a known donor. So you can basically, you can go through a sperm bank, basically, or you can ask someone in your life to donate for you. And we are going through a sperm bank because I don't ever feel really comfortable doing that. Sometimes it's great for people, but just not for us, because it's very important to us that the child is still just ours. And I feel like that's a very hard line to draw if you know your donor. And I feel like no matter how comfortable someone says they are with just donating and then giving up all their parental rights and relationships, which is what we would want, it's really hard for someone to do that. And so I don't think we would ever want to tackle that avenue. So anyways, yes, that's why we chose to go with a bank situation, because then no matter what, that person will not be involved in the child's life, growing up. However, we do feel that it is important to keep the door open in case the child decides when they, grow up. And I think with any bank, the child has to wait until they're 18, depending on different things. So either there's 3 tiers. Sorry, this is going to be long and rambly and maybe confusing, but I'm doing my best. So there's 3 different versions of anonymity or openness at a sperm bank. One is closed, where there is no guaranteed relationship between the child and the donor at all. However, the child still does have the option to, when they're 18, kind of reach out and be like, hey, I would like to, contact my donor. Is there any way? And then the bank would contact the donor to ask if, yes, I know you said you're closed, but there's someone trying to reach you, and would you be open to it? But there's no response, and there's no obligation to the donor to say yes. They can just be like, no, sorry, and the child never gets to meet their donor. Then the next level up is the donor has agreed to 1 contact, and so when the child turns 18, they contact the bank, and they are guaranteed to have at least 1 contact with the donor, I think. And then the last one is when the child turns 18, they can request the person's full information. So they get the person's name, they get how to contact them. And again, I think they're guaranteed 1 contact, but after that, it's kind of up to them if they want to continue it. At least that's how I remembered. I could be remembering it wrong, but I think that's kind of the 3 different tiers. So Miles and I think it's important to choose at least one of the 2 tiers where the child is able to be guaranteed at least some sort of contact when they turn 18, because I think it's just only natural, and I feel like adoptive children also go through this. It's just natural to want to know where you came from biologically. Neither Miles nor I were adopted. However, I just feel like it's a very understandable and normal reaction to if you weren't raised by your biological, I hesitate to say parent, but that's what it is, biological parent, that it's only natural to be curious and to want to know where you came from and to want to explore that. And I don't think I wouldn't want to deny my child that opportunity to learn about themselves just because it scares me. Because to be honest, it does. I don't love having to, I don't want to share my child with anyone else but my husband. And so it does scare me that there's going to be another person out there that is has this, not bond with my child, but just connection because of biology and genetics. And so, but again, I'm trying not to dwell on the negatives and just kind of look at it as someone else that my child has an opportunity to get to know in the future, and hopefully it ends up being a good relationship if my child wants that relationship. Obviously, I would never force them to contact the donor. If they don't want to, I would be perfectly fine with that. But again, I don't want to make the decision of no contact for my child, so I don't think I would ever choose a completely closed donor, but for that reason. So there's that, and I think, so as far as physical characteristics, because again, you can choose your donor based on various, you can choose like ethnicities, hair color, eye color, religion, celebrity look-alike, which I still get a kick out of. I think that's hilarious. And just countless other factors that you can kind of, sort and filter using. And so I believe what we are going to do, since I'm going to be carrying, all of our children, and we still haven't decided if at some point we would use Miles's, eggs. But as of now, at least with the first one, it's going to be genetically mine, and I will be carrying it, and we will be using a donor. So we would like to use a donor that semi-closely matches Miles more than anything. So I think we're going to look for like blonde / light brown hair, because Miles was blonde as a kid, and then obviously his hair darkened as he got a little older, and so now it's kind of like a lighter brown color. And I think we would choose blue eyes or some variant close to that, like blue, maybe like hazel or green, because that's the color Miles's eyes are. And I think we would choose a Caucasian donor just because both of us are Caucasian and we want a child to look like us. Again, because since we can't have that direct genetic link from both of us, it is important that the child does resemble us, even if it isn't directly genetically related to both of us, if that makes any sense. So that's another thing that's important to us. And yeah, I think other than that, we're pretty flexible. Like, we don't have any, they must be this, they must have French ancestry or whatever. We did get Miles's, which one did he do? I think he did 23andMe, so we do have Miles's complete genetic, ancestry, and so we might try and use that, but again, it's not that big of a deal to us, as long as we're comfortable with the donor in the end. So I think we might lightly try and follow that, but if we end up finding a donor that's not that, I think we'll be fine with that too. We're pretty flexible on that front. But we do kind of want to also really closely, pay attention to their bios and stuff like that, because while I do believe, I don't know, see, it's so hard because I was a psychology major, but I'm also, I strongly believe in science, but, the whole thing, nature versus nurture. Basically, we're picking out our child's nature. And, but we will, as the parents, be influencing the nurture. And so, if you don't know what I'm talking about, nature is the genetic component of a person, and nurture is their environment and how that impacts, who they become. So basically each donor does have a short bio saying, what they majored in, what their favorite hobbies are, what they value in life, who they are, blah, 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 blah. And so it is kind of fun reading those bios and kind of getting an idea of the person and imagining your child having these, same characteristics. But at the same time, both my parents are in the science field, and they, raised me, and I'm not in the science field at all. I mean, I guess psychology could kind of be considered science-y, but I wasn't really into the research side of things. I was more into, the counseling side of things, which I don't think that's the real science-y side of psychology. Anyways, but yeah, so it's kind of tricky, I feel like you get this false picture of, oh, you're getting to pick out your child's exact traits because, oh, this person likes mountain hiking, so, I could have a child that likes mountain hiking or something like that, but that's obviously not the case. And so I'm really trying to kind of more get a general sense of the person, whether or not it matters in the long run, what their interests and majors and whatnot are, I don't know, but that's kind of all you have to go on, and you have to make a decision based on something anyways, so who knows. But I think we're kind of trying to get a nice balance of there's so many things. It's really hard. I don't know, trying, because you want your child to be smart. It's good if, the donor is, active and, charitable and, just a good person. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but so I don't know, I'm trying to kind of more, instead of directly being oh, I really want someone who works in the music industry or whatever, and rather being okay, so they work in the music industry, so that means they're kind of, more musically or creatively inclined, and so I'm trying to, my goodness, I'm quiet. someone thinks I'm rambling too much. But basically, I think what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to get someone who is well balanced. So someone who isn't like, you know, solely focused on their career, or, you know, I'm trying to get someone who has a, you know, maybe a good career in academics and is also, you know, into likes vacationing and travel. I don't know, guys. Now I really am rambling. I just have no idea what I'm trying to say. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts going into things as of now with the whole picking a donor thing. I think Miles and I were gonna kind of start really looking at it tonight. I have a few donors I've like just been casually scrolling through and saving just because, I don't know, I've been doing that, but we haven't like really sat down and like together really looked at them and be like, yeah, this is someone we would actually consider, this isn't, yada yada. Oh, one more thing I did want to like chat about. So ideally we would both love to use the same donor for all of our children. I just, especially since we don't know if at some point we would use any of Miles's eggs, I want all of our children to be related to each other. And so if we use 2 different eggs, that would mean that throughout, you know, all of our children, we need to use the same donor to have them all be related in one way or another. But that was also, it's a lot easier said than done when I thought that the donor sperm was covered by insurance, which if you guys have been watching me, you know that we recently discovered that's the one thing that's not covered by insurance. And sperm is expensive, y'all. It's really expensive. It's like $1,000 per attempt. So I think with IUI, it's a 20% success rate, maybe 25. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's on par with just normal. No, I feel like it might be 25 percent chance of getting pregnant each attempt. So that's 1 in 4, let's say. So 1 in 4 attempts, that's $4,000 for one child. So say we want at least 3 children, that's 12 attempts, that's $12,000. So that's a lot of money, especially up front. If we want all the same donor, we would need to buy those vials now and then store them in order to guarantee that, you know, that donor didn't sell out or stop donating or whatever. So realistically, I just don't think that's going to happen because we don't have $12,000 to just like throw at a sperm bank. So I think we're going to kind of have to make peace with using different donors each time, which again isn't the end of the world because in the end they are all our children, so it doesn't really matter. But that's just kind of another, you know, thing that stinks, having to go down this road that, you know, other couples that don't need fertility assistance like this don't have to deal with. And so yeah, there's that. But I have been rambling on for almost 17 minutes, so sorry if that's really long and you're not interested in this, but I have gotten a lot of like requests from you guys to talk a little bit more about this process, and I do really want to document this whole process and my feelings and, you know, everything that we're doing with this, just for memory's sake for us as well. So I did want to just, you know, sit down and chat about that with you for a bit, but I think I've shared all my thoughts on the subject, so I'm going to get back to my day. All right, so Miles got home from work and we decided that we wanted taco salads for dinner, and so we didn't have like all the stuff that we needed at home, and so we're going out. What do we need? We need
sour cream and
salsa. Yeah. Do we have meat?
Cheese. We're just gonna use the chicken that's already cooked.
Right.
And we have lettuce.
Excellent. So yeah, we're going out to...
And we're returning our strawberries to BJ's because we bought them 2 days ago and they're already
moldy.
moldy.
Yeah, which is, I know strawberries go bad fast, but like 2 days, like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Strawberries are expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm really excited for taco salads. It's gonna be like really, really good.
Even though I really want pizza.
I'm pretty psyched about taco salads. I don't know, I'm not feeling pizza.
That's fine.
I know. Which is why we're eating taco salads. And it's healthier.
Yes. In what way? Mentally? No, it's not healthier. Pizza's healthier.
All right, and here's the finished taco salad that we're having for dinner. It has lettuce and then some chicken that Miles made the other day, some fresh salsa, sour cream, cheese, and I believe that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we got back from the store and before we put this together, we also looked through some of the donors like I was talking about earlier. Do you have any?
Merrit, we would do it.
Yes. Do you have any thoughts that you would like to share on the subject?
I mean, I know Merritt talked about it a little bit earlier. I would prefer to be able to like just use Merritt and I, but
I know. Science hasn't gotten there yet.
it's strange. I feel like I'm like shopping for like a product.
Yeah.
But like I think about it and I'm like, but it's gonna be my kid. I don't know.
Yeah,
weird.
it is weird.
I'm trying to like pick somebody that's like well-rounded and like has some of my qualities.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously it's gonna have Merritt's qualities, so like I'm trying to like, pick people that are like my qualities. Also like it's kind of nice because I'm like I can kind of pick somebody that I'm like, wow, that person has qualities that I wish that I was better at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it is in a way kind of like a cool plus. But
yeah.
We'll see.
A little silver lining to some of the other difficulties. Yeah. So we were able to narrow it down. We currently have 22 favorites saved. And I don't think that's the last time we're going to go through like the whole thing, but currently we have 22 that we're, considering, and obviously that'll get way narrowed down. Well, eventually it'll get narrowed down to just one, but that's kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, we are going to eat some dinner and watch some Scandal. We're making ourselves go to bed.
It's hard.
It's so hard to stop watching Scandal. It's so good. Every episode ends. We're like, I want to watch the next one. So rough. This little one's ready though. Right, Munchkin? You ready to go to bed? I'll snooze you. Let's play burp. Yeah. You ready to go to bed? Huh? Like, yeah, let's go. I know, she's like gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I have much else to add to today's vlog. You got anything else? No. Alright, we're gonna head to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe down below. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Night.